fantastic few days. I hope that you have been taking action moving forward in your life. Tonight, we're going to keep it quick, keep it brief, get our week started off on a high note. And I have a question for you to start this week off. What value do you add to relationships? What value do you add? What makes you special? What is your special? What is your special thing? What is your unique thing that makes you special? So this week, we're going to focus on you. We're going to focus on the value that you add to relationships. A lot of times people will look at themselves and you will and they'll discount themselves thinking that they have nothing special to give. But this week I'm going to challenge you to find to really investigate yourself to find what makes you unique, what makes you quirky, what makes you strange. There's a term that I'm going to use all week long called your inner oddball. I'm going to encourage you to find it. I'm going to encourage you to find that thing within you that makes you odd and strange, but because that's also the very thing that you can use to add value to the world. So we'll go through and take an inventory this week of how to do that. Like, so for one of the things I want to do is just to get kicked off this week is starting off with your experiences. What experiences have you had in life that are unique or special or interesting or even they can be heartbreaking experiences. What have you been through? What have you experienced in life that makes you special? Right? Or what have you experienced in life that impacted your life in such a way that it changed your perspective on how you see things? See, sometimes we go through something that can be negative. I'll give you an example. Going through a divorce for me, at one point in my life, I looked at that as the greatest failure that I could possibly have had. I'm like, man, you know, here I am, like just a fan of love and wanting to be married from the time that I was very young. And here I am now divorced, right? Like it was a huge point of shame for me to go through a divorce, right? Growing up in a Christian family, growing up in the church, the one thing you don't do is get divorced, right? You might be miserable in your marriage, but you don't get divorced. And so for me, when I was going through the divorce and having gone through it, I looked at it as I'm like, man, I'm like, how could God ever do anything with this? Right? Like, man, this is the ultimate failure. But when you go through things, it can even be heartbreaking things. It gives you a different perspective. See, I now look at relationships and understand that what you see on the outside isn't always doesn't always match up with what's going on the inside. See, a lot of people have like this picture perfect relationship and oh the job looks great and you think that they're living the life or they have the best family or the best business or their health is great, whatever it may be. You see the outside, the external. And then having been through the divorce, having been through the heartbreak, it gave me a perspective where when I talk with people, when I share with people, when I'm interacting with people, I can be sensitive to the fact that everything that glitters isn't gold. And before long, I can be having a conversation with someone and having a heart to heart with them, and they can start opening up their life and start sharing something that's going on in their life that perhaps they've never shared with anyone before. And it's not as great as it seems to be, and people can share, oh, I've made some mistakes. I did some things wrong. I did some things I shouldn't have done. I said some things I shouldn't have said. Okay. Having those conversations, having those dialogues. Because I went through something, I'm able to be in a situation with people and add value to the conversation because I can relate because I've been there. Right? I know what it's like to have dreams, to work hard, and to see the dream happen. So I can add value, I can add perspective. When you start saying, when you're able to say, I know what that's like. I've been through that. I experienced that. Oh yeah, I've been there. Have you ever, perhaps you've eaten at a restaurant and it was just, it's like a fantastic restaurant. And then you have a conversation with someone and you're telling them about it, and they're like, oh, I've been there too. And it was really good. The conversations get richer. I was in a meeting earlier today, and someone's going on a cruise. And while she was talking about going on her cruise, another woman in the group said, "Oh, I just went on a cruise to that particular place. It's amazing." Adding value. See, when you can look at yourself and know that whatever you've been through is beneficial, you get to add value, right? Because you get to connect on a greater level. So today, I just wanted to open up this week with starting to think about challenging ourselves on how we can create greater connection. How can you create a greater depth of connection with those that are in your life? What can you do? What experiences have you had? Who can you reach out to? Right? What is it that you have that you get to bring? Stop discounting yourself. Stop making yourself feel like you have nothing, because that's a lie. You have something. You've been through something. You've accomplished something. You saw something. You did something. You have something. You are a person of value, which means you can add value to your relationships. So the question tonight is, what have you been through? What have you experienced? What do you know? What do you dream about? What do you hope for? What is it that you want in life that you can connect with someone and dream together with them? See, you get to be the person that shows up. You get to be the person that decides, all right, I'm not going to hide this. I'll go ahead and share this. So I challenge you to do this. I challenge you to take out some paper, take out a sticky note, start writing things down. Start writing down what makes you special. Perhaps some of your dreams, your hopes, some of the things that's those next levels in life that we often talk about. Some of those things are being held back because you don't really want to go into your story and start looking at it. But let me just tell you, there's a blessing in your story. If you can really go into your story and start pulling out your experiences and start sharing your experiences, it'll start opening up your life, because other people will be blessed by your story. Other people will be encouraged by what you went through that helped you get from one place to another place. Don't discount yourself. Don't discount what you've been through. That's where you get to add value. See, sometimes we go through life and we think like that we're not special, that we're just another face in this world. It's not the case. But if you are willing to hide your special story, if you're willing to hide your experiences, if you want to hide everything that you've been through, and you have this negative self-image about you because it doesn't measure up to other people, then the world will never get to experience the greatness that is in you, because you won't serve it to anybody. There was a time I didn't want people to know I was divorced. I'm like, that was the worst. But as I was going through that process, you know what happened? There were people that would start talking to me and they would say, "Oh yeah, I, I'm I've been divorced. I've been divorced a couple of times." And they started sharing their story, and people started saying, "I've been there," and it helped me. See, the fact that someone helped you is it should be all the motivation that you need to help somebody else. That person that said something to you, that person that you know sung the song, that person that did their, shared their gift with the world, that helped you through, that person that smiled at you, that talked to you, that person that encouraged you or sent you a card. Those are the people that helped you through so that you can help somebody else through. Somebody's waiting for you. And you perhaps are just discounting yourself. You're discrediting yourself. You are thinking that somehow you don't matter. but you do. So my question is, what do you have? Right? You don't have to look outside of you. I encourage you this week to take a look on the inside. What do you know? Where have you been? What have you done? What have you been through? What has broken your heart? What has made you smile? What has inspired you to dream? What caused you to feel like giving up? Who has spoken to you in such a way that you felt like you could tackle any obstacle? Who has said things to you that has wounded your heart deeply? Everything that you've experienced in life, all of these things can work together for your good, right? When all of your experiences, everything that happens in life can work together for your good. When you start moving according to what your purpose and calling is, the calling that's on your life. And yeah, you have a calling, you have a purpose on your life. And so all this stuff starts to work together so that your calling, your purpose can be activated. Let me just tell you something. Nothing that you've been through has been able to destroy you. Your worst moment, this is how strong you are. Maybe no one's ever told it to you like this. The worst moment you've ever been through wasn't able to take you out. It wasn't able to destroy you. It wasn't able to break you unto death. It might have broke your heart, but it didn't kill you. You're still here. You're still alive. You're still moving forward. You're still breathing. You still have another chance. So the worst thing that you've possibly been through, the worst attack, the worst words, the most despicable thing that anyone has ever done to you wasn't enough to take you out. You won. You are the champion over that situation. That situation was not able to destroy you. And here's what that means. That means that you have purpose. That means that you have something to give. Do you know that science, one of my favorite things I learned in science, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Think about it. All the hell that you have been through, that action, the action of the most despicable, hurtful things happening and being directed at you, that action, as great as it was, as harmful as it was, there is an equal and opposite reaction, which means there is something in you that is so powerful that that magnitude of an attack came against you. See, if you were nothing, if you didn't matter, you wouldn't have been bothered. You would have just been ignored. Life wouldn't have even, it wouldn't have even used energy to oppose you. But there's something so great in you, something so special in you, that there has been an onslaught against you, but it wasn't to destroy you. It was actually to activate you. Think about it. Your worst moments, they weren't able to destroy you. So you know what that means? You get to stand tall. You need to square your shoulders up, chin up, and say, you know what? The worst that has happened to me was not able to destroy me. So I have some work to do. There's something for me to accomplish, because if all that was against me, there must be something really special in me. Shift in perspective. How you look at yourself, how you think about yourself. There's something in you to be delivered to the world. And this week, we're going to go after it. So if you're down for that, if you are here for that, if you're ready for that, accept the challenge. Start tonight. Start making a list of everything that you've been through, because you are the leading person in your story. You're the leading person in your story. You are the main character in this story. And so we are crafting the story because we're looking and say, wow, I've been through this. I've been through that. This happened, that happened. I went there. I did this. There's some clues. There are some clues in your story that's going to give you a picture of where you want to go. See, I know throughout my life, I've traveled a lot. There's some clues. There's some clues to my purpose in the fact that I enjoy travel. I like doing it. I like meeting people. I like to talk. I mean, I like animals. I like nature. I like sports. There are some clues. I've been brokenhearted. I've been married. I've been divorced. There are some clues. I've been a foster parent. I've been a natural parent. I have twins. I was a gifted parent. I was gifted a daughter. Like all these things, all clues. See, we have to learn how to look at our stories and start to see, oh, there's something here. This is really something. This is really amazing. Just imagine if your story made it to the big screen. How captivating would it be if people could really know your story? If they really knew the details and the inner workings and all these things that were happening, how captivating would your story be? It is time. Now is the time. We're heading into these summer months. If you live in the United States, we're heading into these summer months of activity and action. Now is the time for you to start moving and taking action so that your life can be forever transformed. Like no more. This is not the time for you to put your life on the shelf and someday it. No more. Nope. This is not someday time. This is not those kind of moments. This is take action time. There's something for you to do. There's something for you to accomplish. There is a moving forward that is meant for now in your life. And so that now it's time to get excited. Now it's time to start looking at your life and don't just look at it as, oh, woe is me. My life will never mean anything. No, that's not. No, this is not the time we're living in. This is go time. This is go to the sink, get yourself some cold water, splash it on your face, be refreshed time because you have value to add to this world. So now it's time to discover it. That's one of my favorite words. Discover. Dis means not, cover means conceal. It's time for you to no longer conceal the best of you. No longer conceal the dreams in you. No longer conceal the great story in you. No longer conceal the possibilities of you. Like, don't conceal it. I'm looking at something right now on TikTok that just popped up on the screen and it says like travel with you. I don't even know what that means, but it must mean I'm meant to travel. All right. So what are we going to do? Get into your story, start looking at your life. Just take a few moments tonight, just jot down some things because we're going to build on it all week long. So look at your life. Like what's my story? What do I have in my story? Start looking at it. We're going to roll. We're going to roll. And by the end of this week, you are going to be activated in another level of purpose. If you take action, by the end of this week, you're going to see a shift in your life. I believe it 100%. But you got to take action. You have to be willing to say, all right, it's time for me to move. It's time for me to move forward. Time for me to go. I have to discover my inner oddball, that thing that makes me strange and that thing that makes me valuable. And your whole entire story plays a part in it. So let's have a fantastic week. Let's go at it strong. Write down aspects of your story, highlights of your story, lowlights of your story. Don't eliminate anything. Just start taking an inventory of your story because there are clues in your story. And your greatness, which is a matter of service, is connected to your story. So if you want to be great, start looking at your story because there's something in it that you get to serve to this world, and that'll make you great. Let's shut it down for the night. Let me pray. Father, thank you for this day that you have made for us to rejoice and be glad. And thank you for each and every one of the unique stories that are here. Thank you for each person and the fact that their story makes them different from everyone else, which makes them valuable if they would choose to share their story with the world. If they would choose to take what has been hidden within them and unpack it and discover it and share it with others. Someone is waiting for their story. Life transformation is waiting for that story. There are things that'll never be the same again once that story comes out. Like a good book or a good movie, these stories are captivating and life-changing, suspenseful, heartbreaking, emotional, triumphant, and we're appreciative that we have the opportunity to be together. So I pray for each and every one of these individuals that are here now, watching live, watching on replay. Thank you for their life. Thank you for their story. Thank you for what is getting ready to happen and what is happening already. I pray that they'll be strengthened, courageous, bold, daring, and that we move forward to make a revolutionary impact in this world with our special gift and our special talent. Thank you so much for each one of them. I pray blessings upon them as they line up with your will for their lives and the purpose that you have for their lives. May they be blessed and prospered, and may those that are around them be blessed and prospered as well. We thank you for these things in advance and count them as done. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, all right. Bone Wisher, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right. You all have a fantastic evening. Let's get busy this week, taking action to see our lives add value. Look for someone to impact. Like from this point to the next time we meet again, look for someone who needs your impact. Impact their lives. Don't hold back. This is the time to do it. Love you all much. Have a fantastic evening. I'm B.A. Shepherd, 2 P's, A-R-D, reminding you to be a shepherd. The world has enough sheep. Good night. See you.